You are listening to Keith Price's Curtain
No guy
Call.
made has got a shade on, sweet Georgia Brown. Two left feet but also need ass, sweet Georgia Brown. They all sign, one to die for, sweet Georgia Brown. She just war. You know, don't lie, ooh, that much. It's been since she knocks dead when she lands in town. Since she came, why it's shame how she cools them down. Fellas that she can't get, or fellas that she ain't met. Georgia named her, sweet Georgia Brown. Oh!
See? Look at this. Has been turning us out forever and still doing it. Lord have mercy. This is what I love about doing Keith Price's Curtain Call. One, because it has my name in it.
Yes,
A,
of course.
and B, it is the opportunity to get to meet some of the great people that are not only still doing theater today, but, you know, in the moment when they hit the scene, they brought something special and something genuine and something wonderful to what we get to witness every day. We just finished the Tony celebrations. I talked about that earlier, about how much fun the Tonys were this year because of what was going on. And this woman that I'm sitting with right now, the 2-time Tony Award nominee, Miss Vivian Reed, is sitting here. Okay, you heard her giving you Sweet Georgia Brown fiercely. Thank you. Fiercely. And she's here today with me because I just got lucky. How you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Miss Vivian Reed is here with us on the Curtain Call, and it's great because, like I said before, you guys are so... You guys that love the theater like I do, this is one of those moments that you didn't think would ever happen. Like, I talked to Cheetah Rivera the other day. I was like, how am I having that moment with Cheetah Rivera? And now I'm sitting here talking to you, Miss Bubbling Brown Sugar herself. Ow, Miss Vivian Reed.
So great to be here.
Oh, so... What are you doing? I hear you're cabareting and you're turning people out. You're back in New York. You got a residency. What is going on with you?
Well, I was out of the business for a while, so I could take care of my mom, and but with no regrets. I wanted to be there for her because she and my dad had always been there for me. So she passed in my arms a few years ago, and so I knew it was time to come back. Now, I had never left New York in terms of residency. I mean, my apartment's been here forever. But I was going back and forth to my hometown. And so the first thing I did is someone took me to 54 Below, and they said, yes, and to see...
well, it's now Feinstein's 54
Feinstein's,
Below.
but at that time, but at that time, it was 54 Below. Now, he done brought his butt in there. Now it's okay.
That's
there we go.
okay.
So it's Feinstein, which is good. That's a good thing. So while I was there, Philip, who ran the program, the Sondheim Unplugged, asked me would I do Sondheim Unplugged, and I said, sure. So that was actually one of my first times doing something back in the public. He says, you know what, you need to come in here. He said, come on and do your show. I was scared. I talk about this in my show because I didn't know if people would remember me. I didn't know if people would come out. I was a little scared. And I'm telling you, when they called my name and I heard that applause, and when I went out there, it was people all out, all to the street. It was so unbelievable. So I was there for 4 sold-out shows.
Wow.
And so now this is a different show. It's called An Evening with Vivian Reed, Standards and More.
And it's going to be at the Metropolitan Room.
Room.
The first show is going to be
June
this Friday,
17th.
June 17th. And then she's going to be coming back regularly once a month?
Yeah,
is that correct?
for 3 more shows after that, the
shows.
21st of July, and I
the
think...
26th of September, the November 10th.
Yes.
With Billy McDaniel running your band.
Yes, he's
All
he's my conductor.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Oh,
and I have guest artists too, Ron Ruffin and Janita Burnett, who was the only African American to play the role of Mimi in La Boheme on Broadway. So she's my guest. Because in my show, I also do classical.
See, and that's what's wonderful. Ms. Vivian Reed is here with me on the Curtain Call, and we're talking about her show that's coming up here in New York. She has a monthly show that's going to be running through November. Almost except for October, through November, at the Metropolitan Room here in New York City Room. And you can go to metropolitanroom.com for more information as far as getting tickets and making your plans. Because if you're going to be coming to New York in July on the 21st, as well in September, this is an opportunity for you to come and get you some legendary action. How are you doing?
That's right.
Because if you go to Miss Vivian Reed's website, vivianreed.com, and go look up some, let me tell you something. First of all, black don't crack. All right? Let's just own it. Black doesn't crack. Now, we do have to moisturize.
Yes. Honey, we got to moisturize.
Cocoa butter is our best
and
friend.
Vaseline may have to come in sometime.
Oh, come the winter. So, I was thinking, when I knew that I was going to get this chance to talk to you, I remember, like I said, I was telling you earlier before we had gotten on the mics that we're having brunch with my partner, and we normally on Sundays we do this whole thing where we'll play cast recordings. Like, Tony Sunday, it was crazy because we played all the best musicals that we had because I got a little access. And one of the things, like when we put on Bubbling Brown Sugar, this was 2 weeks before, but even before I knew you were coming, and I was like, man, they were doing it. That show, you were doing it.
It was the start of those jukebox musicals back in the day.
Wow. And now you are in this place where you have now watched the Broadway community become what it's become. And we were talking about how, the big buzzword, of course, is diversity.
Yes.
Which is kind of ad nauseum to me. I'm like, all right, I'm glad. It's just sort of like, it's just the idea of it's more parody than it is about diversity. It's like we just want to be there. Like Leslie Odom, who won the Tony, thank you very much. Shout out to Leslie. We just need to be in the room where it's happening.
Yes, absolutely.
It's sort of like, and then we let the chips fly after that. So for you were, we're talking 1976 for Bubbling Brown Sugar, and there was a lot of stuff that was brewing. The Guys and Dolls had just finished. The Wiz was coming.
And then they had, remember the black version of, not the black
Hello
version, but
Dolly,
Porgy and Bess.
Porgy and Bess.
Yes. There were like 7, at one point there were 7 black shows at one point. On Broadway, yes. Including plays. Including plays.
And so we were, going on about how it's become so whatever it is, and this is but there was always kind of diversity on Broadway. For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, a little bit maybe far and few in between. But now it's just so wonderful to see so many people of color. I mean, I love the fact that there are new pieces. Like, for instance, what Lynn created in Hamilton, just amazing, because I saw In the Heights, which was phenomenal. So I was thrilled when he came back with that. And shall we talk about that child in Color Purple? Lord,
Cynthia Erivo.
Mercy, Jesus. I thought I had lost my mind and going to heaven. And then when I heard that my girl Heather Headley was coming into it, I said, Lord, let me get a ticket now. And because I was just imagining those voices together, and they did not disappoint. Oh my God. Have you seen it? Did you see it?
I saw it with the
Jennifer.
Class and Jennifer, and I went to Stars in the Alley just recently here in New York, and Jennifer, Heather Headley came out, and they did a number from The Color Purple, and they did Push the Button.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. It got so bad for me from where because again, sometimes when I go to these press events, I tend to be like obvious. that I'm not just here to ask questions. I'm because I'm still a theater fan inside.
Of course.
And so when she came out and started singing that song and push the button, it was like it moved through me, and I got to the point where I was like, I forgot that I was actually supposed to be working. I was dancing. And at one point, she's singing at me because she could see me standing, because you can't miss me.
But that's a good thing, because what I tell my students is it's not always about having a great voice. Now, I mean, when you look at Cynthia, that is a great voice. When you look at Heather, that's a great voice. But what makes them go way beyond that is the fact that they are so in touch with the lyrics that they are singing. It's inside of them. It goes inside, and that's the way they can make you move the way you said you carried on that day.
For just that one song.
Just that one song, because she's in it. She's there for the moment, committed.
And it was like, it's genius. When we talking with Miss Vivian Reed, and again, that kind of energy, though, what you're seeing in a Cynthia Erivo and Heather Headley, in your day, that was kind of de rigueur, wasn't it? You had to bring it like that.
The dancing, everything had to be there. Yeah. Everything had to be there. You couldn't short step on anything.
Because, as much as I love me some Lupita Nyong'o and, her Broadway debut in Eclipse, baby, you got to come to work 8 shows a week. You can't be just taking a day off just because you don't like to do matinees.
Yeah, Well,
unless you're doing something really fabulous and that's what you negotiated. But I'm just saying.
Remember with Jennifer Holliday, she didn't do matinees, but then that was because she was such a hard singer that there was no way that she could sing like that.
No.
Of course, what she should have done probably was pace herself. But Jennifer wasn't about pacing. There's that audience. I'm going to give you what I got. So a lot of the time she didn't do matinees. And I kind of understand that because the way she sings, it's very hard. She's going to give you 1,000%. But yeah, when you're 8 shows, I mean, that's the rule. That's equity. You have to do 8 shows a week.
So for you, though, we're talking to Ms. Vivian Reed. For you, how do you maintain your voice? Because if people listen to Bubbling Brown Sugar and they hear you singing in that song and they hear Sweet Georgia Brown in your cabaret show, granted, we've lived since that time, but the energy is still there, girl.
And you haven't heard God Bless the Child because Usher, come on now.
Come on.
Come on.
Why are you going to do me that way? Why are you doing me that way?
But I think for me is I was young then. And I've lived. And so there's, especially for God Bless the Child, there's much more meaning behind the words.
Yeah. But then that's also your training as an actor of drawing that in.
Yes.
Do you find now when you're watching some of the other performers that are out here now, do you see that they don't have that training?
I would say some of them, and you kind of want to just say, look, honey, are you like, okay, let me use my students for an example. Like they'll come to lesson and I'll say, okay, tell me what the song is about. And they'll say, well, the lyrics are. I said, I didn't ask you that. I asked you to tell me what the song is about. What's the gist? What's the meaning? And if you can't say it like that, then you don't know what the song is about. So how are you going to deliver that song to the audience? It's virtually impossible. So I'm known for that. I'm known for going so beyond and zoning. And I do zone no matter what song. There are no throwaway songs in my show. There just aren't. There will be, like, for instance, I sing Losing My Mind, which is, the word for it is like sotto voce, very quietly. It's not one of those big God Bless the Child endings, but there's still the investment.
Yeah.
There is still the investment. And I live for the stage. I do. I'm so happy to be back. Doing what I do and to see the audience's reaction, to see them coming, to see the show selling out. It brings me such joy. I wish my mom and dad were here, but I know they're looking down.
And again, the fact of the matter is, when you have it, you have it.
Yeah.
And if you take care of it, which clearly it seems like you've done.
I've taken care of it.
Because, the 70s was good for a lot of people.
Yes. But, I do suffer with acid reflux, so I have to watch what I eat and stuff like that. If the doctor said, but you know how many people don't? They're going to sit down and eat that pork chop. They're going to sit down and have that mac and cheese. And the doctor done told you now. He told you.
But it's so
good. It's so good. So what I do is when I sing that last note, like what's going to happen on Friday night.
Right.
So I don't have to, I do have to sing. I have other shows that I'm doing other things where I'm the guest on the show, so I can't go too crazy. Right. But I will have a dinner having something that I should not be eating, but it will only be that one time. So I don't totally deprive myself, but I watch when it comes closer to the time that I have to sing. Oh, no, I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Because you have to hold it together.
Yes.
Honey, 2-time Tony Award nominee Miss Vivian Reed.
Throw that hair back.
Throw the hair back, honey. Because, again, if you go to VivianReed.com and you watch her singing Sweet Georgia Brown in that red dress with the little thing, she's popping that hair.
Oh, but
what was Diana Ross doing, honey? Mad. That's what she...
But you know what? You should have seen the Georgia Brown outfit that I designed for Europe. Oh, honey, that was nothing. That one for Broadway. Oh, honey, that was like a habit, a nun's habit. No, you had to see the one that I designed for oh, baby, she was scandalous, honey, scandalous.
Wow. But I mean, again, because if you look, the body was snatched back in the day.
Baby,
you were snatched.
Woo!
You were snatched. But again, and living that dream, weren't you? Like you were traveling in Europe.
I was traveling in Europe. We took, Bubbling Brown Sugar went over there, and big press, all the press were there, and it was the same kind of opening that I had here. And then Pierre Cardin took me under his wing. He took me for my one and only time to Japan. So there were a lot of good people in my corner, and I did a lot of things. I did a TV special. I went to Italy, did a bunch of specials over there. I have been blessed. I tell people that, have I achieved everything that I want to achieve? Absolutely not, because I want to keep singing and singing and singing and reach as many people as I can. But you know something? If the good Lord took me right now, I have so much to be thankful for that people coming into show business can only dream of. So a lot of times when I get ready to say, "Oh, woe is me," I have to stop.
Wow.
Because I've achieved a lot.
Does that make you feel? Is that like your definition of success?
I think success is relative. It is what the goals you set for yourself. If your goal as a singer is to give back and be a teacher, then you're successful if you're doing that. So for me, I think as long as I am able to get on a stage and make people laugh, make them cry, make them think, make them feel, then I'm successful.
Yeah.
I'm successful.
Vivian Reed, honey.
Yes.
So I love that. I love that you put that. So for you now, like, as we're sitting here in the middle of all of the turmoil of what's going on, and you look at the world and how it's changed for you, does art heal you the way that we tried to make art heal folks on the Tonys? Is there a healing factor for you somewhere with the art? Do you think that we have a chance by doing something?
I think for me, when I see something really good and I see really, really great performers who are committed, that's healing for me. In terms of what I do, is what I could bring to the table. I think God gave me an incredible gift. I don't ever deny that. But I also don't want to be penalized for it because I do have the kind of voice that I have. So, okay, we can't take Vivian Reed into this show because we need the show to be the star. We don't need her. And that has happened to me many times down through my career. And I was angry, cried a lot. And then I finally accepted the fact that this is what God gave me. And I'm just going to get better and better and better, and I'm going to use it because I can't go on the stage and be less than what I am. So I think it's kind of come full circle, and so things are starting to open up, and I'm ready for it. Yeah.
I love that.
But it has not been an easy journey as far as that's concerned.
Well, because, again, longevity is never easy.
Yeah.
And then you take personal issues like you're talking about having to take care of your mom as you're moving through this process. It's like it takes you out. It takes you out. And again, so we're in this place where, the artists are being called upon. We're all being called upon to use our skills to do whatever it is that we can do. It's sort of like I feel like as a comedian as well as doing this, that it's my place to find a way to find something funny to say. At some point. I mean, I'm still sad, but I'll find some. My show's on Friday too, so I'll find something. But in the moment, as an artist, does it influence the way you feel when you get out on that stage? Does do you try to block that out, or do you bring some of that in so that you can use it to make your show unique?
Stephen Holden has described me in several reviews in the last year or two, and even recently.
From the New York Times.
From the New York Times, that I come with a truth that's so seldom told much of the time. Truth behind my lyrics when I sing, especially when I do God Bless a Child. Yes, I let it influence me to a point that whatever lyrics I'm singing, if it's, goes along with something that's happening today in real life, there'll be something behind it, but then there always is something behind it when I sing. Do I get involved in politics? Not necessarily. I will sit and speak with my friends about things that I believe and what I think, but I don't put myself out there one way or another. Only my close friends know, so I won't be too vocal about that at all. Not in public. But yeah, I have a lot to say about what's going on, with close friends today because I just think I don't get it. I don't understand the whole thing. What happened, in Orlando?
It's still a mystery. It's still things are being seen and coming out, but in the end, it's sort of like for us as artists.
Yes.
I think our place is to just keep doing what we're doing. Try to find a way to be beacons.
Yes.
And I think that if anybody can sit in the room and listen to you, just to listen to you sing, if they walk out having any kind of malice, any kind of ill will towards anyone, then to me, they were already a lost cause. So there's nothing you could do about that.
Do you know what I try to do? Because I do talk. I don't talk a lot in my show, but I do say things. And I try to talk about those things that are befitting whatever song I'm getting ready to sing that people in the audience can identify with. I tell my students, and people come to me for coaching, don't talk about the lyrics. The lyrics say this. We can read the lyrics. We can bring that up on the internet. Talk about what the song means, because if you talk about the song, if you relate it to something that's human, somebody in that audience, a lot of somebodies in that audience, will be able to identify it. So when I talk about my mom, and then people come out, when they're standing in line to say hello to me, and they say, "Oh, Vivian, when you talked about your mom, that made me think of my mom. I went through that." That's why it's important. Sometimes the things that happen in your personal life, share it. Share it, because you will be touching someone else who's listening. And I'm a firm believer in that. I want to be able to touch you. And there are points in the show where I go down in the audience.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, I go down into the house, honey.
This Vivian Reed is not playing, honey. Get her show June 17th at the Metropolitan Room.
9:30.
And again, go to themetropolitanroom.com, because she has other dates that are going to be coming July 21st, September 26th, and November 10th. And she's got a 4-piece band that's led by Mr. Billy McDaniel.
Yes.
Now, for you, when you're doing the show is entitled Standards and More.
You know how that happened?
How?
Excuse me. At the other show that was at Feinstein's 54 below. Anyway, a little lady, a senior citizen, she came over to me, and that show's very eclectic, and so was this one, but there was more funk up in that show, along with all the other stuff that I was doing. So she said, I really liked all those songs that you were singing, the way you move your little body. She said, but I like those old standards. Do you think you'll ever do something, like some of those old songs? And I thought, I said, you know what? You've just given me some food for thought, because, come on. I was managed by Bobby Schiffman and Honey Coles from the Apollo Theater, and Honey made me learn those songs at 20. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to put a show like that together. So we called it An Evening with Vivian Reed, Standards and More. Now, the more comes about that there's other stuff in there just besides standards, but the bulk of my show are standards that everyone knows, but here's the difference. I'm known for my arrangements. It's just I tell my band, like if it's a new person coming in, I say, honey, all you gonna recognize is that title, okay? That's all you gonna recognize. So this ain't no jam session, okay? This ain't a jam session. It's ladies and gentlemen, come on up, honey. We gonna do time after time in A flat, okay? No, I have put thought behind all of my arrangements, still keeping the integrity of all of the pieces, but it's got my stamp on it.
Right.
My stamp. And they, in fact, a review that we had that came out on me I guess about 2 weeks ago, she talked about that. She said her arrangements are fresh, they're new, and it's Vivian Reed, So that's the other thing I bring to the table. And I do them all myself. And I have somebody
just about to ask you that.
No, I do them all. I come up with the arrangements, and then I call up my conductor, Billy McDaniels, and he comes over. And he tries to pretend. Let me tell you about old Billy. He tries to pretend like he don't know. Like I'll say something like, okay, Billy, this is the bass line I want on. I love being here with you. And then he'll say, now this man, classically trained, he knows everything, right? He said, now what was that beat that you had that I said, Billy, don't mess with me. So our sessions are so, I want to pull by the time Billy finishes with me, I want to wring his neck. But he always gets it. He charts it for me, and the rest is history.
And any chance, though, that you get to see Miss Vivian Reed, this is one of those opportunities to do so, June 17th, if you're here in New York. If you're planning your trips to New York City, and you're going to be coming around July 21st or September 26th or November 10th, I strongly urge you to make an attempt to see something different when you come to New York. Because, again, this is legend, people. This is one of those people that if you were lucky enough to have this moment like I'm having, that I'm hopefully sharing with lots of you, it really means a lot. And there's something about the idea of you just do it that I love about you. Because, you know, you're just doing it. That's all.
You know what has been the thrill for me? A person who works in theater, he's going to remain nameless, but he's a good friend of mine. So he said,
but he's dead to me. No,
but he's not quite dead to me, but he's working toward that. Okay. But anyway, he said to me when I was coming back, I was going into Feinstein's, he said, so Vivian, what are you going to do to attract younger people, to attract younger fans? And I said, I'm not quite understanding you. He said, well, what music are you going to do for them? I said, oh, okay, let me get this straight. You think we have to play to that demographic in order to get them to become our fans? Is that what I'm hearing you say? And he said, well, yeah. And I said, honey, it always was, is now, and always will be about performance and commitment to what you're doing on that stage. Well, opening night, he's sitting like to the right of me. And this was probably the 5th standing ovation. Oh. I know.
Boom. Drop the mic.
And so when they were all standing, when I was leaving the stage, this is like the number before I come back for the encore, I whispered in his ear, I said, case in point. and he said, I get it, Vivian. So when I see...
I don't need no young children out here standing. I got these folks right here.
Okay,
where am I going?
I mean, now what's so great, Keith, is when I go and in the audience and I'm looking over the audience, I got to tell you, I would say probably half of them are young. Yeah. Just from word of mouth. Mm-hmm.
And
young.
And there are people that, especially here in New York, and Feinstein, it's like Feinstein's Fishing, you would be someone that people will make the effort to look up.
Yes.
You're somebody that when they figure out, oh my God, there's Broadway, there's that whole connection that will bring that generation of people out. Because ultimately, in the end, that's the fan base that you're really going to be feeding the most. Because again, for me, when I saw, like I said, when I saw the email with your name on it, I was like, oh, from Bubbling Brown Sugar, what? You know, see, because I'm that old.
Yes. Well, wait a minute. Hold it now. Hold it. I'm that old. You just older.
Older. You know, than her regular rooms.
Yeah, that's right. Throw the hair back.
You know. So again, getting back then to being on the stage. You know, the last time you were here was Marie Christine, I believe it was.
Yeah, in theater. That was at the Vivian Beaumont with Audra
McDonald.
Yes.
6-time Tony Award winner.
Yes.
When you look at that, if you look back at the Marie Christine days and go, I mean, she was good then, but whatever. I didn't think she was going to roll this way. And she just, you know, again, the same thing that just, it kills me. It's like to see her on the Tonys giving you a high kick and pregnant. I'm like, work.
Now, let's talk about her dancing skills.
Work.
First of all, she has blossomed into such an incredible actress. Because I went to see Shuffle Along because I have a bunch of friends in the show. That girl was so funny in that show. Lord, did you see Shuffle Along?
And
She's
I'm seeing it again
funny,
today.
funny. But let's talk about the dancing.
Hello.
When did she take them classes? I just want to know when she took them classes now, because in Marie Christine, there was not that to be had. When did she take them classes, honey? Because, I mean, did you hear her tapping and Shuffle Along?
I watched her tap.
I mean, come on.
And we were standing there, me and my partner, we were both looking, and I was like, what is it that this girl can't do between her and Stokes Mitchell up there?
No,
what is going on?
Stokes I knew was a dancer.
Yeah.
I knew that. But see, you don't understand. See, you were saying, well, what is it that she can't do? No, honey, I was looking for the sound machine. I said, no, there's a sound machine somewhere. She just pretending like she tapping. No, where's the sound machine? Come on now. No, she amazing. Absolutely amazing. No, I swear there's still a sound machine. When did this happen?
When did this happen?
Of course, that was a while ago when we did Marie Christine.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Late 99.
99. It was 99. Let me tell you, she's smart, because when I heard that there was going to be, Billy Wilson was bringing a tap number in, I had never taken tap. Child, I went to the nearest tap. I said, teach me now. I need lessons. And what happened? The rest is history. I ended up leading the tap. So she's smart. Yes. She's very smart.
You
got to be a triple threat.
You have to be.
Yes.
And who saw that coming? I didn't even see that. I remember when they said, that she was coming to do Billie Holiday, my face kind of scrunched up
Wait
real
a minute.
weird. And I was like, really?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
And then she killed me. She turned me out.
I got to tell. We in sync on that. I said, what? Audrey was doing what? Oh, she gonna do her version of it. No. She's doing. I said, okay, now I'm not ready for this. So a friend of mine who was feeling the same way, because I mean, come on, if everybody is real, everybody was saying that. How you gonna do? Them lips good sugar. Now you know that wasn't gonna happen. Come on now. So, but we were thinking it was gonna happen. So I'm on Facebook, baby, and my friend sends me a message. He said, girl, you ain't gonna believe this. You're not gonna believe this. He's put the link in the Facebook message. He said, click on this link. He said, Vivian, this is fantastic. When I clicked on that link, and there's Stephen, and now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Audra McDonald, and she came out, and I said, wait a minute now. I was floored. I mean, so I didn't get a chance to see it on Broadway. So when somebody called me and said the HBO, baby, I sat there with my mouth open. She's smart. And whoever told her, look, we don't need to hear a trace of your voice. Mm-hmm. Okay, we love your voice, but it ain't for here. We need you to go in this direction. She put in that work, and I'm telling you, she nailed it.
Oh, Miss Vivian.
Nailed it. I was floored. I mean, I was so impressed.
Wow.
So impressed.
And her being a part of this new wave of this thing, and it's like, and you being where you were, it's like how fabulous for you to be able to witness that growth.
Yeah.
Witness that growth.
But you know what? Wait a minute. But every artist, I don't care who you are in show business or whatever you do, you should always aspire to greatness.
Right.
Until they put me in my casket. I already told my girlfriends and even my male friends, bring an eyebrow pencil in them grays. When you see me down in that casket, honey, you lay down. I'm going to be there, so I ain't going to be able to say nothing. Just pencil them gray hairs in, okay? Until they put me in that casket, honey. Until they put me in the casket, I am going to still be learning. Now get yourself together now, honey.
She's going to go out looking cute.
I'm going looking cute, honey. They better put me in a red dress a la Georgia Brown. They better.
Oh, my God, Miss Vivian Reed. Miss Vivian Reed, thank you so much for just coming and sitting here and just kikiing with me for this. It's been an absolute pleasure. So, again, if you were coming to New York, Standards and More is going to be at the Metropolitan Room. Go to metropolitanroom.com for more information. It'll be this Friday coming up now, June 17th, as well as July 21st, September 26th, and November 10th.
I can give a telephone number.
You got a telephone number?
I do.
Ooh, hey.
You can dial 212-206-0440, and they will take your reservations for any date.
All right.
I told you I'm ready and prepared.
This is great. So now, again, as we roll out of this is the best part about this, is that I can give them a little bit of a taste, just a taste of you just giving me a little it ain't necessarily so.
You want me to do that?
No, I don't need you to do that. I got you, girl.
Okay, I'm ready.
You. Don't you hear this rolling underneath the house? We talking. See? That's what's going down.
Okay.
Look at that. So again, thank you so much, Miss Vivian Reed, for taking time to talk to me. And again, metropolitanroom.com. Go, you can roll the pin back and you can find out what that number was, because I didn't have that written down, so I don't know what that is. But again, you can get your reservations for the rest of the shows that she has lined up. And again, go to vivianreed.com to find out absolutely everything that Miss Vivian is up to. So again, thank you again.
Thank you so much. This was a blast. Thank you.
Thank you. And listen to that. Up in the club with Miss Vivian Reed. Thank you.